Hello everybody, Broken22 here, and I am here at Kaji no Ri, Japan, and I am going to show you where I have my unique markers for the fish on the map. As you can see, I have caught all the species, and I'm going to show you every single spot where I caught these guys at. So, let's get into it, shall we? Alright, so we're going to start off here at the bottom. I have these buoys everywhere, and trust me, if you're going for these, drop buoys wherever you can. Even if you don't need them, you can always pick them up later. All right, so the unique ruby snapper. This guy, he's a little difficult to catch, but the ruby snappers are at the bottom. If you're going to fish for these with bait or lure, you have to let the bait touch the bottom because that's the only place they're at. If you don't, you will catch other fish that are in the middle and to the top of the surface. So you have to let the bait go to the bottom. These ones are one of the harder fish to catch on this game. Please feel free to pause the video at any time if you need to get the coordinates. And as you can see, I've caught a couple of them already. So this is the ruby snapper area. So this spot is just a mark that I have. This is actually for to go after the groperzilla, the monster fish. You have to catch spiny lobsters, and you have to pull them out of the water by getting snagged up. There's multiple spots that they say that you can do this, but this one was the only spot that I was catching them consistently. I was parking my boat like right here, and I was casting into this open area. You'll see like a broken boat somewhere over here. And I was just casting in that area, and I was pulling them out. It only took me about 20 minutes to catch all of them. All right, next one. We got the trophy giant grouper. I actually caught this one. Uh, they go up to like 400, 500 pounds, but I caught a 303, and it was considered a trophy, so I was good with that. I don't really care for the fights on this map. I don't like to fight a fish for 15, 20 minutes, but you know, if you enjoy that, kudos to you. Dogtooth. These guys, this one was a little bit more difficult for me to catch. But these are the areas that I did catch the most of dogtooth tuna at. I caught them a little bit everywhere, but they were more consistent in this spot. So I use scale sardines, but you can look up the information on the fish and you can try all the different baits. But this is the one that was lucky enough to hit on the scale sardine. Now these ones right here are just off of the shore. You know, you can just use a regular fish. These are not that hard to catch. These ones just go to trophy. Japanese jack mackerel. I caught it with the bobber just to get it done quick. And then same thing with the common anchovy. You just got to catch one, any one of them. It works. Okay. And up here is the unique narrow barred mackerel. I actually caught this going for the giant trevally. These hit as well, but they do hit. These are a pretty good fight, but they're not that bad. As you can see, they get to 124 pounds. It's not a difficult fish to catch. And a giant trevally. I actually caught this on a double hook poker. These fish are at the bottom, so any area that if you're going for these, you want your bait or your lures to run along the bottom because that's where they're at. These guys are mid to the top part of the surface. These guys are the top, or the bottom. You'll find some other fish in here too, but they just come and go. All right, so we got the unique Japanese amberjack. I've actually caught these in a couple of spots, but this is the spot where they were most consistent in catching. So this was actually one of my hot spots for it, and I finally got this one during the day. All right, so this all up here is considered what I like to call, and I don't know if other people do, but the tuna highway. As long as you have all these little lines right here, this is where all the tuna fish are. And keep in mind, all these fish will give you a fight. Okay? So, let's get into it. I just caught this one just now. This was for one of the missions. I do have that one also on my YouTube page. Um, it is the bucktail 3/4. You have to catch this and another fish. But I just recently caught this one. And it was actually kind of simple. It wasn't that hard if you just follow what I do in the video. Again, these things are usually where the trevellis are. Caught him going for that fish as well. See what I mean? So these are consistent in this area too. All right. Now here's the tuna. The tuna are a little bit harder to catch because you cannot just focus on one fish. When you go for the tuna, multiple different species will be caught. You can also look for seagulls. If there's seagulls in the air, there's tuna at the surface. So this one right here, the big eye tuna. This guy was, as you can see, these get bigger in weight. These are, 350 pounds. So these ones are a fight. Yellowfin tuna, again, around the same size, pretty big. Okay. But you get this by just riding along this, just trolling with your rods and just going along this whole area. Now, the Pacific Blue, these ones are one of the biggest fish and the second hardest fish to fight in this game. I caught this one and I was like, I'm not catching one of those again. Those are pretty big. Like I said, I don't like the fight. This one took me about almost 20, maybe 25 minutes to get into the boat. These are hard. And this one is one of the hardest fishes to get into the boat. Unique striped marlin. Again, you'll be catching these if you're going for tuna. They're all mixed together. These guys kind of suck because you can bring them in, you can pull them in about 100 yards, and then they just take off, and then they'll pull you out for another 200 yards. You can pull these guys, and you only got 30 more yards left. You're like, oh my god, I almost got it, right on. And then boom, they take off to 200 yards again. So these ones are horrible to catch because of the fight that they put up. All right. So now here, the skipjack tuna I was trying to catch within all those in the tuna highway. I actually ended up coming into this area because I saw somebody in a local room, and he was catching them left and right. Just this, there was a couple other fish in between, but mostly this. So I came into this area and I tried this area, and luckily I was able to get my skipjack. And this was the last one I needed to complete the map, so I'm happy for that. All right, now we're getting into a little bit more fun ones. This is the Grouperzilla. This is the one that you need the mutant lobsters for. I caught him here, and just keep in mind, in this area, the Grouperzillas here, you can actually catch other groupers in this area too. So this is a pretty good spot. So the unique striped bonito, I caught this guy going for the mahi mahi. So these are mixed in between them, so that's actually pretty good. So you'll catch those at the same time. Now here is the mahi mahi. Now these things suck because when you fish for these, you always have to go in the opposite direction of the wind. So if the wind is going north, you want to be traveling south when you're trying to catch these things. I don't know why, that's just the way they put it in the game. They're opposite of the wind. So these are one of the first ones you have to catch in missions. I'm not a fan of them, but part of the game. All right, so the greater amberjack. These are in multiple spots. This is the spot that I was more consistent with them. Uh, these fish are a little bit everywhere. You'll catch these mixing up, going for different species. But yeah, again, there's another one of those unique barred mackerel. Like I said, these things are everywhere. This one was a hard one to catch. Now, the job fish are the same thing with the ruby snappers and the trevally. The bait or the lure has to touch the bottom of the thing. They are only at the bottom of the ocean. Now, these spots right here are only go up to 70 to 100 feet. That's where you'll find these. But your lure or your bait has to be at the bottom, otherwise you will be catching mackerel and amberjack. Oops, I'm sorry. I did not mean to do that. Let's go back in here. All right. So we're right here. So in the game mission, it tells you that this is where you're going to come to catch the squid. This is actually a pretty good spot for squid. It's pretty consistent. So that one I would recommend for squid if you want to fish for them. And a Japanese jack mackerel. I actually caught this one. This one's actually the biggest one I've got. I caught them here also at the bottom going for shrimp. Okay, so we covered those. So here's the mahi mahi I told you about. There's a bonito. And we're back over here. So, all right, I believe that is it. That is all the fish on this map. This is where I've caught them. I have never really ventured out to these areas here or this area here. Oh, I also caught a big eye tuna there, but that was because I was fishing with other people and I just so happened to get it. But as you can see, I caught my other tunas up here. But yeah, see, there's my other one right there. So I caught them all together. We just so happened to catch one down there. But again, these marker buoys are lifesavers because if you don't have a good boat, it takes a while to drive through all this open water. But I hope this helps you out. Here's the unique markers. This is Dead and Broken 22 here. Y'all have a good day.